what I was really struck by though was how effective everyone seemed. You know, like they were all very sharp and together. And I remember thinking to myself, wow, they seem really together. Like it didn't set off any bells yet. You know, I'm not in the position in my life like I've rarely had like people. I don't know. I've never had to fend off cults before, so and you don't expect the cult to be a business. So I really was just like, oh wow, they really seem to be together and sharp, and well, that's gonna be a pretty good job. But I was still mostly thinking, I can't wait to get some health care.
Yeah.
I'm mostly excited about that, and I thought, of all things, this sounds ridiculous now, but I thought that I would have flexible hours because Amazon, you know, they kind of advertised that actually in the thing that they had in their original like ad in the paper. It said like, you know, flexible hours. And I thought, well, that'd be great. That'll work out great because I could use some flexible hours for this because
you want to do other things.
No, I got to do shows and stories.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
So this will work out great. So that was always my plan.
But what was the reality?
Oh, the reality was, you know, that everyone gives their lives to Amazon. That was what working there was all about. Once you decide to join, you get a 4-week induction course where you for 4 weeks of training, which is a lot more training than any normal company pretty much needs. You're in a team, and they call it your training pod. I swear to God, they call it your training pod, and you all train together, and you learn skills, and you learn, you know,
and you train with the people who you're going to be working with.
Right. You'll be working with them separately later, but you'll always have a special bond with the people in your training pod.
Okay.
So you train with these people.
Where do they hold these training pods?
Now you're actually like in training rooms that are at the customer service center, which is in downtown Seattle.
And is that inside the Fortress of Solitude?
Oh, absolutely not, because that would be, you know, that'd be mixing your worlds. That'd be mixing like the really attractive world of Amazon with, you know, customer service, which Amazon likes to talk about how good its customer service is, but it does not like to have, you know, like the last thing it wants is to have it be, you know, they don't want it there at all. So no, it's downtown in like it's actually kind of a nasty building, right in the middle of downtown, a very dark, like the ground floor. It's like by the time I left, it was 5 floors of a building, and then other buildings also spread to other areas wherever they could find room. But none of it was ever up on the hill.
So, okay. Now, when you did go through this course and all of that, I mean, what was it like? What would they say in this indoctrination session?
Well, they would teach you a lot of things about, like for instance, one thing that got repeated over and over again that I talk about in the show at length is they would talk constantly about how Jeff came to form Amazon, and like sort of the mythological story behind it, like how he traveled across the country in his Acura hatchback. They didn't know what city they were going to do, but they knew they were going to build something great. They were going to build the best company that people had ever seen. And Amazon runs on myth. I mean, it runs on the story. The story is what fuels the press. The story is what fueled the growth, and it fueled the stock. You know, without the stock, you can't have the rest of it working. And it was all vital. It was vital to making it work.
Now, what else was in that initial creation myth?
Oh, a lot of, for instance, a lot of the sayings that the company likes to use are explained to you, like it's still day one. That's the biggest one.
What does that mean? Well,
Jeff uses it all the time. He says it constantly. It means like a whole bunch of things. It's never fully explained, but what it means is it's still day one of the internet. So there's, you know, miles and miles more to go in growth and time. It means that it's still day one of Amazon's growth. So, you know, we've done a lot now, but we're really just at the beginning of day one. So, you know, hang on, it's going to get bigger. And of course, the one that's not spoken of is still day one of the stock. So, it's big now, but our growth and the promise of the future are much larger than can be really contained, can even be understood. So, you didn't get in too late. Everyone's always afraid, what if I got in too late? But that saying also helps reassure people. No, you couldn't have gotten in too late. There's so much possibility and future for everyone. There's nothing to worry about.
So what other myths did they, enumerate at these sessions?
Well, I think the biggest one is the idea that Amazon's in a startup mode. It's always constantly, it was really, it was used as an assured fact. Like, Amazon is obviously not profitable. Amazon, has this sort of, many people even then, of course, were saying Amazon is, Amazon.bomb, that's unsupportable. Therefore, they worked really hard to make you identify with the company and then to adopt sort of it sounds almost ludicrous, but sort of like the rebellion versus the empire attitude, where the rest of the world were people who just don't get it, and they're against us, and they want us to fail.
Mm-hmm.
But if we work really hard together, we're going to make it. And there's all these signs that indicate that it's going to work. And the biggest sign, of course, is that the biggest